Okay guys, welcome to a brand new episode of the Canadian Nerd Talks, your favorite talk show about all things geek. This week we've had lots of news about a new Transformers series, Star Wars Rogue One, which is coming next year, the Suicide Squad movie, and Jared Leto as the Joker. He dyed his hair, he cut his hair, he's looking cool. And finally, Game of Thrones Season 5. We have a trailer for it, we're going to watch it, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to cover my ears because I'm not caught up. All this on today's episode of the Canadian Nerd Talks. As you guys probably know, my name is Stefan Hicks-Rubel. I'll be your moderator slash host slash fellow opinionator for today's show. And with me are some great people from the Canadian Nerd.
Hey there, I'm Myles. I deal with production and audio. I will be talking a fair bit about Transformers today, as you can see.
Hi, I'm Anton. I'm the business developer here at the Canadian Nerd, and let's get some nerd chat going.
Hi, I'm Leto. I sit here comfortably in my nerd throne, and I am the digital art director of Canadian Nerd.
Bonjour, comment ça va aujourd'hui? Mon nom est Samuel. Je suis, est-ce que je peux le dire, un écrivain pour le Canadian Nerd. J'aime travailler ici, c'est très bien. Au revoir.
Alright guys, topic number one, Transformers. There's a new series coming out, a new animated Transformers series. It's called Transformers Robots in Disguise. Personally, I haven't heard a lot about this. I don't know if you guys have, but I know Myles over here is quite the Transformers expert. Myles, you want to just introduce us to this idea?
Double up,
Sure.
Myles money.
Sure, Transformers Robots in Disguise. This is actually the second series called Robots in Disguise. There was an early one made in 2001, 2002. It's a sequel that's set after Transformers Prime, which was a very popular show. It's set after the war between the Autobots and Decepticons, and this is actually the first North American Transformers series. I say that because there was Japanese versions of Transformers where Optimus Prime is not the main character. Bumblebee is being featured as the lead in this one, and their goal is to fight a bunch of Decepticons who have crash-landed on Earth from a prison ship, and Bumblebee has to do it with a team of rookie Autobots.
All right, don't spoil everything, Myles.
Okay.
Let's check out the trailer and see what we think. So, it premiered last week in the States.
No, it premiered last week, yes.
It'll be premiering in Canada soon. What do you guys think? Are we gonna check it out?
When will the Decepticons and Autobots kiss and make up? Like, how many decades are they going to be fighting each other?
That's a good point.
More like millennia, because
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
a very long lifespan.
So this is like a sequel series to
Yes.
something that already exists?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm not gonna watch it because
You have to
I'm
catch
not-
up on
I'm
Prime.
not catched up.
Yes.
Caught up.
Yeah.
Did you watch the first episode yet?
Yes, I did.
Did they, leave it open for new viewers? Did they, recap you at all, or...?
No, they don't do a recap. They just start off as if it's a standalone. But
It's like its own premise and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
then if you watch the previous series, you could catch little hints here and there. That's cool.
I'm curious what your thoughts are on the animation.
I would have preferred if they stuck with the animation they did in Prime, but I'm satisfied with it.
I mean, I don't know, just personally looks a little cutesy and a little lazy.
Well, they geared it towards a younger audience
Yeah.
as with its predecessor
I
Prime.
mean, still, but you can add more detail to the faces and to the characters.
Well,
they
it's
look like they
TV,
spent more time on the
right?
trees behind them than the
Well,
actual.
think about the toys that they're going to be making. The less detail you put into it, the easier it is to crank these toys out for cheaper.
Yeah, of course, but it's so lazy.
Any final words on why we should watch this show, Myles?
They're taking a whole different direction. They're not focusing on the conventional battle between Autobots and Decepticons, or Optimus versus Megatron. They're bringing in their own fresh characters, at least for the Decepticon side.
All right, so we'll have to see how it is. Moving on to our next subject, let's talk about Star Wars, something I'm sure everyone can at least comment on. Yeah, everyone loves Star Wars. If you don't love Star Wars, you should not be watching this show. I take it back.
I was joking.
You don't like Star Wars, man?
I was joking.
Get out!
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm done.
I've loved it, but now I've forsaken it. Does that mean I have to leave?
You forsaken this.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
why did you
this is
forsake
what we
Star
have to-
Wars? What?
okay.
One of your-
Because the continuity issues they had between the
Okay.
new shows and the expanded universe.
Because they canceled the expanded universe. They said
Yes.
that's not canon.
I'll just clarify that I don't hate it. I just don't love it either.
You don't? Have you seen it?
Not all of them.
Oh, wow.
Why am I admitting this on camera?
What Star Wars movies have you seen, Maddie?
I don't even know. It was so long ago.
Prequels or original trilogy?
Yeah.
That's you know that's the deciding
Are
factor.
you aware of Jar Jar Binks?
I think so.
What did you think of Jar Jar Binks?
I don't really remember which one that is.
This is the
Sounds
question.
familiar.
Jar Jar or
I shouldn't have said
Chewbacca?
anything. Why am I on the spot now?
Jar Jar or Chewbacca? Yeah.
Choose one.
Oh, I want to say Chewbacca just because he has a
Okay,
funny
no,
name.
That's fair. You can
Just
remain
because
seated.
he has a
okay,
funny name. You heard
And
it
he's furry,
first.
right?
Yeah, I know.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode, we'll decide who's voted off of the show. Anyway, back to the relevant news. As everyone knows, Star Wars Episode 7 is coming out later this year, December.
Yep.
But some new details have come out about a spin-off movie being released next year called Rogue One.
It's not the first time we're hearing about a spin-off, right?
No.
I heard about like a bounty hunter movie. I heard
Yeah,
about
There are rumors
there's a
about
Yoda movie.
a
Boba
Yoda
Fett.
movie. I heard about a
Yoda.
Han Solo movie.
How do we feel about these spin-off movies?
Like he said, he has a problem with them eliminating the extended universe or expanded universe. I think they're trying to redo the expanded universe, create their own by doing the spin-off movies, by releasing new comic books they're coming out with, right?
And they're even going to release a whole set of 20 books to link episode 6, Return of the Jedi, to The Force Awakens.
So they're retconning everything and just coming from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Look what Disney did to Marvel.
But see,
It's not. I'm not too worried.
we've talked about this before on the show. I feel Marvel's maybe done too much. I feel like there's been like too many movies on the market right now. It's hard for me to really enjoy a Marvel movie when I'm gonna watch the same movie a couple months later when it's a different hero.
Look
You
at
know
it.
what I mean?
10 years ago, they were releasing only the same stuff, well, like only a limited amount of selections.
Yeah.
Now we have a huge saturation. That being said, let's just say you don't like Fantastic Four, you don't like
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You like X-Men though, or you like Avengers, or you like just Iron Man, or
Yeah.
like Captain America. You have such a diversity that it kind of caters to all audiences,
Pick
and you
your
don't have to
poison.
compromise watching somebody you don't necessarily like just because it's a comic book movie. Now they're trying to like scope everybody in.
I don't know, man. I just don't want to get sick of Star Wars. You know, I love Star Wars. It's like my favorite thing in the
You
world,
didn't
and
get sick
I
of
don't
Star
want
Wars
to get.
from episode 1, 2, and 3.
That is true.
I guess. Well,
Like they
You know,
can't,
it's
they
different
can't do
'cause
that
I'm-
much worse.
I'm from a generation where I was a kid when those movies came out, and they weren't bad to me when I first saw them. You know, but I don't know if we're getting a Star Wars movie every year. I don't know,
Well,
man.
and when we heard the news the first time, I don't know about you, but I was like,
Me too.
I was like, no. I was like, Star Wars is the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker, and that story has been told. But then they signed on
I
J.J.
understand why you
Abrams,
say
and then
that.
I,
Yeah, okay.
heard they're bringing back the cast from the original trilogy, and I'm on board for that. But
one could argue that Star Wars is not necessarily about the story of Anakin's rise and fall, but it's the rise and fall of the Force, the rise and fall of the Empire, the rise and fall of just so many different things. And it all kind of ended with episode 6, right?
I know.
Now it's a new rise
I know.
with another maybe potential
I don't know.
fall, right?
This
Just,
one at
just
least
being
sounds-
devil's advocate here,
It
right?
sounds interesting, at least. Rogue One.
It's a good title.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like the title. Yeah.
I don't think they're
rumors.
going to be dealing with Jedis, which is kind of cool too. We get to see like the civilian or military
Yeah.
aspect of things as opposed to like the mystical,
The
Jedis.
rumor is it's going to be focused on the rebel pilots.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing that's like what you brought up about how the story focused on Anakin. Like that's the thing with the expanded universe. Like it brought in the perspective of many other characters.
Yeah.
So you could see it was not just about Anakin wasn't
Yeah,
the focal
yeah.
point.
So as we usually do, we headed out to the Silver Snail comic store to talk to a few Canadian nerd fans. Let's see what some people at the Silver Snail had to say.
I think it will be wildly successful. I mean, Star Wars is going to be wildly successful. And if anybody knows, this could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Disney knows how to take something and brand it and then make it billions of dollars successful.
I want to see the old characters again from the original Star Wars.
I'd like to see more on the droids, to be honest with you. It'd be neat to see the creation of C-3PO and his evolution, and probably the evolution of R2-D2.
I guess it would be cool to see. I know they have the show of the Clone Wars, like the animated Clone Wars, but it'd be cool to see like a movie, kind of like that's more in depth of the Clone Wars.
I guess I'm alright with it. I don't want them to like reinvent the old films. Like I don't want to see a film about like a young Han Solo running around. But if they go with some of the like lesser known characters, like if they do a Boba Fett or if they do a I don't know, whoever, then I'm up for that. I just don't want them to reinvent the old series because they're fantastic. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would not want to see like a Han Solo spin-off movie unless Harrison Ford is playing him.
They could always do that thing what they did with Jeff Bridges in Tron.
Like CGI.
If they do a better job of it, right? And then flash forward to Han telling the story as an old man.
There are rumors about bringing in Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, Jesse, to play Han Solo.
I'm a smuggler, bitch!
I can't lie, I'd pay to see that.
You can see that?
I just love Jesse from Breaking Bad.
I love him too when I'd see it, but...
It's not the same, right?
If you guys could pitch a Star Wars spin-off movie, is there a certain storyline or something that you'd want it to be about?
About the Hutts.
Oh yeah?
How like almost like a crime movie about how Jabba the Hutt or like the Hutt family clan came to power on all the different planets. Like a mafia movie,
It'd be so gross to look at. You'd have to look at like Jabba the Hutt for like 2 hours. It would probably be like 3 hours because like that's how long movies are now.
Think of it like, you know, a crime sci-fi, but like kind of like with a spin of like Goodfellas.
Yeah, I was just thinking like Goodfellas. Yeah,
that could be
Goodfellas, Casino, about the Hutts.
Yeah, okay.
You could see maybe like a young. I mean, not necessarily. You guys said you didn't like a young Han Solo idea, but you could have a cameo of a young Han Solo, like why Han Solo owed Jabba the Hutt that much money. You know what I mean?
It's funny. I was looking at the people who are going to be making this movie. The director did Godzilla, which I haven't seen, but I heard is decent.
So and so, yeah.
The director is Gareth Edwards, but the writer is Chris Weitz, and I think a movie depends on its script. I'm looking at this guy's notable films about a boy, a romantic comedy.
Okay.
Not a bad movie, but I don't know if that's what I want to see in Star Wars.
What about the director? Let's see.
Golden Compass, but the one that stood out to me was Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps.
Oh no.
So this guy's gonna be writing a Star Wars film for us. I don't want to be judgmental, but like, are we gonna have Eddie Murphy in every role?
Let's see the director and his credits.
The director, Monsters, never seen it.
Yeah.
Godzilla, haven't seen it either. And In the Shadow of the Moon, at least they're sci-fis.
Still small. Looks like he's got. The only thing noted for is Godzilla.
So that's that. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Okay. All right, guys. Topic number 3. Suicide Squad, we all know what that is. Supervillain Avengers, pretty much, for DC. Yep. I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be really cool. And the big talk right now is Jared Leto as the Joker.
You know what?
I think that will be amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
This guy, because I'm really into like learning more about like actors and the acting. Not only is he a method actor, he is an artist in the purest sense when it comes to actors. And in this generation, there are very few, and he's one of them.
So you're on board.
Yes.
And really, to be Joker, you do need to be a method actor.
Yes.
Because it's, it takes a lot of craft to show off that craziness, but not overdo it.
We have a picture here, how he's looking right now. He's cut off his long, beautiful locks.
Oh, that's creepy.
He's looking creepy. That's good.
No eyebrows.
He's all into it.
Oh yeah, did he shave his eyebrows?
Shaved his eyebrows off. Yeah.
He did shave his
That
eyebrows.
is creepy. All right, you know what?
He's definitely got the look.
I was kind of iffy, but now that I've seen he's shaved off his eyebrows,
I will say one thing. Like even with that picture, it shows his commitment not only to the project, but like just his whole method. Because one movie I watched years ago, he was in Chapter 27. He played Mark David Chapman. Horrible movie, but his performance was amazing. You see the picture of the real guy and him, you're just like, you can't tell.
I'm interested to see if there's going to be any reference to Batman in Suicide Squad.
That's a good
And
question.
then, because he's going to be playing Joker, how is that going to affect maybe further, iterations of Batman? Because, I could see him being a Joker.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then him versus Ben Affleck, I could see a cool dynamic.
I could see that.
Right?
Let's check out what people at the Silver Snail had to say.
I think that people love Heath Ledger and that we can move on to a different Joker, and he's going to not try to replace Heath Ledger. He's just going to do his own thing, and I think we're ready for a new Joker.
That would be amazing. I think he's a somewhat underrated actor, but I think he'll be good in this role for sure, especially with Ben Affleck too.
You could argue he could go easily the same route as Heath Ledger, but I think he's a smart enough actor that he'll really take it as his own, and we'll see something that we haven't seen before. We won't see a Jack Nicholson, we won't see a Mark Hamill, we'll see something completely new and genuine. So I'm looking forward to that, actually.
Heath Ledger kind of set the bar. Before that, Nicholson kind of set the bar. So when you've got two particularly well done showings, again, the bar is set very high for him. He's going to have to put his own brand on it, and I think he can do it. So we'll have to wait and see.
I loved Heath Ledger as the Joker. I don't know if anyone's ever gonna.
Yeah, I
match
did
that,
too. But
but-
Jared Leto, I think he'll put his own twist on it. Because even like, I'm like a hardcore fan of this guy. You guys have no idea.
Yeah.
But like his six biggest movies, you can argue, 6 complete different performances. You forget the same guy. American Psycho, Requiem for a Dream,
Yep.
Fight Club,
Yep.
Chapter 27, Lord of War, and Dallas Buyers Club. Same
He won
actor.
an Oscar for that one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Same actor, 6 complete different people. Just like, how do you do this?
He has a big range.
Yeah.
I don't get why people are comparing all of the different Jokers.
I don't get it.
Well,
Each
it's
one
bound
is
to happen.
different.
Everyone's different.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know, if you compare Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger, it's 2 separate ideas of Joker. Jack Nicholson did an idea like a classic Joker
yeah.
almost based off of the 1960s Joker almost, but with his own twist.
Heath Ledger's was based off The Killing Joke.
Right.
Yeah. And this one I heard is a rumor. His is based off TDKR, The Dark Knight Returns. I don't know if that's true though.
That'd be cool to see.
I want to throw a question over to Maddie. Jared Leto is a very pretty boy. You know,
That's a scary photo.
Yeah, but
He is a pretty boy, but he knows
It's
how
not
to.
not
he's a
my type
chameleon.
though.
it's not your type. Okay.
Not my type. A
'Cause
little too blonde.
I was gonna ask, would it be weird to have like an attractive Joker? I guess Heath Ledger was good looking too.
But Joker,
But that adds like that even the better edge to the psychopathicness
Exactly.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like you almost want to trust him and then it just
Okay.
hits you that much harder.
Joker's never really been a bad-looking guy.
He's never.
Well,
he's
he's got like green hair and like scars on
not
his face.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm-
he's not like aesthetically hideous. He's just like
Yeah.
okay.
I'm curious to see
the
what they're gonna do with
Arkham's
the makeup, though.
saga.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
pretty bad in that.
No, but like it's not like we're talking about Clayface here, or
Yeah.
you know, Killer Croc. You know,
Man, I'd love to see Killer Croc. He's not in the Sinister Six,
No.
is he?
No.
I don't think so.
So we'll have to wait and see. Should be good.
Canadian Nerd Movie Night.
Yes.
Mhm.
Stay tuned. Our final topic is something I'm sure you guys.
GOT gat.
I'm sure you guys love
GOT
this. I'm
gat.
sure you guys love this. Personally, I love this, but I am not caught up. I'm gonna put some headphones on and like play some like heavy metal music or something because I don't want to hear the rest of his conversation. Here's the trailer for the new season. Question 1, did you like the trailer? Question 2, what are you looking forward to the most? Question 3, what are you the most
So
nervous
Jon
about?
Snow.
Oh, okay.
I really like the fact that we get to see. What's her name again? Sorry.
Daenerys.
Daenerys. Like, I'm always bad with their names. Daenerys.
Yeah.
Daenerys. That whole army she collected. I've been waiting for that.
Yeah,
Like, the
yeah,
use of the
yeah.
army.
Have you read the books?
No.
Do you know anything about the books?
Somewhat.
Do you?
No.
Because I haven't read them, but I know a fair bit about what happens.
Okay.
And from what I understand...
Spoilers.
No, from what I understand,
Spoiler
at this
alert.
point where George R.R. Martin has written up to, she still hasn't crossed the motherfucking sea.
Okay.
So they're jumping way ahead from the books, which is kind of exciting because it seems like a lot of waiting for her to come.
Well, it's hinting towards it, but that might not be the case.
I don't think it's going to happen yet,
Yeah.
but it's definitely going to probably be next season. I don't know.
The Dinklage.
Oh, I'm
Always
so,
that bearded,
Oh, yeah.
bearded
Yeah.
Dinklage.
so
Come
excited
on.
to see what happens to him across there.
Yeah. I love to see how like the whole what's Joffrey's family name again?
The Lannisters.
The Lannisters. I love how their family is just crumbling. They
Oh, I
got
can't-
up on such a high perch and just like
Cersei's going to cause some serious damage, though, and I'm excited to see what that is because she is probably the best bitch in the entire show.
yeah.
I don't like her, but she's damn good at it.
I kind of gave up on Game of Thrones because it was starting to get, you know, like it's big, popular, everyone likes it, but like
It got very popular in the last 2 seasons.
I got
Yes.
kind of like tired of it, and I know a lot of people are gonna bash me for this, but I lost interest in it. But seeing that trailer, seeing what's to come, all those stories that I was waiting to develop, like waiting for them to develop to find some, you know, some interest in them, finally looks like it's happening. It makes me want to catch up on Game of Thrones. It makes me want to get back into the show. It makes me want to, you know, maybe even read the books.
Okay,
Take it that far.
What do you think characters that are going to get knocked off this season? Because there's got to be at least 3. At least.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to go?
Did the guy with the Dragon Queen die already? Like her right hand?
No, but he's been cast away from her, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. After she found out that he was spying on her originally in the back of the second season. Or first season.
You know, it's hard to tell because like when you watch the show,
That's
it's
what
not
I'm saying,
as
it's such
not
a wild guess.
yeah, without reading the books, watching the show, like you start getting invested in characters, they die. You start not giving a shit about characters, they last a long time. You start getting invested, they die. Like you don't. It's
Red
so
Wedding.
unpredictable.
Terrible.
Oh, Red Wedding was awesome. It was
good, but it was also. I never read the book, so I was like, what?
I'm most excited to see what Tyrion does with Daenerys, and I really am hoping this is the season that Daenerys actually starts to, you know, get her butt across the ocean.
You know, it's better to do stuff different than they did in the books, just because it keeps not just the people who watch the show guessing, but people who read the books as well. They're not going to know exactly what's going to happen.
I think it is smart because telling a story on page and telling a story on screen are actually quite different.
As a scriptwriter, you have to have some flexibility like that. You need to be able to move away from the books. A true representation, like letter for letter, of something as large and I think as complex as Game of Thrones isn't going to be palatable on a TV sense.
In this case, everything they've done, I think, has worked to the benefit of the show.
Talk about it.
I mean, they made a lot of good points about like converting from the book to the show, because a lot of people have been complaining that it's not accurate, and it's true. They're skipping a lot of stuff, and they're gonna have to jump ahead in the timeline, especially because the actors are getting older, like Arya and Bran. But they're not doing a bad job of it. I mean, I haven't had any problems with what they've done so far.
I've heard it's a really good adaptation, especially from like book to.
And I mean, as somebody who's is reading the book after the seasons, it's kind of like a bonus when you read the book, because you're just like getting all the other juicy details that you didn't get before.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that Martin went to the head writers, and two of them, and told them.
Yeah, they were the only people in
the
the
only
world.
people who know how like the story ends and how
they had to sign like a NDA.
Yeah. So like in case he dies, that they could finish the show.
He's getting there, and the books potentially too. He might not finish the last couple books.
Myles, what do you think? As someone who doesn't watch Game of Thrones, like, did that trailer at all entice you to maybe get into it?
Yes, it did.
Really?
Yeah.
You like dragons?
Yeah.
They're not robots though.
I know.
Okay.
I think that's the only thing the show is missing is like some sort
robots
of
or aliens.
It's got like some serious like politics and religion, sex.
I'm no one pony bot. I'm no one trick pony bot.
We believe you, Myles.
Okay. But yeah, I really did like that trailer. It actually felt like a cinematic experience.
Definitely.
Well, they put so much effort and money into the graphics as well too.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, they have really good like CG or CGI. Like it looks authentic. It's not like that cheesy CGI. It looks like they did.
The
a good
Hobbit.
job.
Oh, the dragons are amazing.
Hobbit, bad CGI.
Yeah. That's the thing. As someone who doesn't like the fantasy kind of stuff, like I like sci-fi, I like all that stuff, but I don't really like fantasy. I didn't like Lord of the Rings. I didn't like Hobbit, but Game of Thrones.
You didn't like Lord of the Rings? Oh wow.
See, I'm with you on that one completely. Like, I hate all that kind of. No, I don't hate it. I really don't care for it. Game of Thrones got me from the beginning.
Yeah.
I've been watching since season 1 avidly.
Like Game of Thrones is definitely 100 times more enjoyable.
It's just it brings it, I think, down to earth a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like
it's much more serious too, and like has
because it ties in like real world political and religious issues to an extent with with all those other beliefs, and the fact that I feel like the characters don't necessarily believe in these things, that they have to be proven that they're real, like the whole dragons. Everybody's there's no more dragons anymore. I love that.
It's not like people just assume something. Oh, dragons are real. Yeah.
It's like us saying, like the Loch Ness monster doesn't exist, and then one day it walks out of the lake.
Maybe it was a cut together, but I think that reaction from Dinklage was him seeing the dragon.
Well, he's supposed to be over there now.
Oh yeah, right. Because he's fleeing after the whole thing. Yeah. But that was a cool, like him bearded, all like dirty. Looks up and just like, fuck, they're real.
Oh, and he goes with Varys, which is gonna be interesting. So.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, we can stop talking now.
We're good?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Jon Snow is going to be having a terrible time this season.
Did you notice that Jon Snow's not a little bitch anymore? Doesn't that make you happy? He was such a whiner the first couple seasons.
Of what I have seen, I love Jon Snow. He's my favorite character.
He knows nothing. He's a bastard.
I'm not.
Ghost is 10 times the character he is, and that's
I was only joking with that. Like, yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
I'm just busting your balls.
Well, I enjoyed listening to some Refused. at full volume. All right, guys, that wraps things up for today. We had a great time talking about all these interesting things with you guys. I'm glad not too much of Game of Thrones was spoiled for me. And, yeah, hope you guys had a great time on here. And I hope you guys at home had a great time watching. Make sure you like us on Facebook and tweet us. And
Subscribe.
Yeah, you can do that too. You could even, if you want, comment on the video.
We love hearing what you have to say.
Yeah. Makes us happy. Tell us what you want us to talk about.
Use that thing called a keyboard.
Yeah.
It's useful.
You have a
It's
keyboard.
it's
Why don't
that
you
thing
use it
at
for
the
once?
bottom
Utiliser
right.
l'ordinateur. Parlons-nous. Oui.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what he said.
Bonjour baguette.
Merci. J'aime les baguettes, c'est très bien.
Oui,
Avec
oui.
le lait, oui, oui, oui.
Oh yeah, the toilette.
Oui, oui, oui. Non, non, pas toilette, pas toilette. Je suis d'accord maintenant. Merci.
Anyway, yeah, if you speak French, let us know. Comment. Tell us what Sam was saying today, because I would love to hear it, unless it's Game of Thrones spoilers. See ya.
Merci, au revoir. Une autre fois.